need to narrate this because this video wasn't meant to be standalone. I'm kind of scared to tell this story because I don't want any woman who watches this to be scared to go solo traveling. And also I kind of am embarrassed about the situation I got myself into, and I don't want anyone to judge me for it. But if anything I've learned can help anyone, I want to share that. And this night fundamentally changed the way I behaved in Europe from this day on. Okay, so I'm gonna go out tonight and party in Lisbon. I'm going out on my own, but I have some friends in town, so I'm gonna go meet up with them. I tried to briefly bond with some people in the hostel and they were reticent. They were not accepting of my company. But to be fair, they were from Denmark. And what I've learned about Scandinavian countries is they're not super open to just like interactions spontaneously, whereas like I feel like Italians, Spanish, British, Australians, New Zealanders tend to be like very open to it. Belgians. So I'm an idiot and I'm just like lingering around until my friend is ready. To kill time, I'm just gonna make one of these. Fuck it. Okay, so I made some friends in the hostel, some girls from Porto and from Rome in Italy. And they're going to the same place I'm going tonight. And they all added me on Instagram, it was so cute. So maybe I will meet up with them. And I have my friend Loic from France who's in town and his group. So like I have options, I'm not really alone. We're never really alone when you think about it. Oh, this place is so weird, it's always wet randomly. Ugh, it's wet. So I'm gonna go to Barro Alto Road or something, where all the bars are. I will update you when I'm there. Okay, first impression of Lisbon is that it's like a big San Sebastian, like everything's popping off. Like there's all these different side streets with like clubs and bars that are super busy. It's almost overwhelming. A lot of stairs. Ungodly amount of stairs. So I ended up hanging out with a group of friends, one of which who I met in Paris. And so I wasn't intending to go out completely alone that night.
Nature is healing.
We all went out to Barro Alto, which is an incredibly crazy nightclub spot in Lisbon. They give you free tequila shots and everyone's dancing in the streets and you just jump in and out of clubs all the way along the street.
Winner mindset!
And then we ended up in this reggaeton bar quite a bit further away from all the other nightclubs. I can't remember how we got there, whether we drove or we just walked for a really long time, but time passed and suddenly we ended up in this place and I had no idea where I was. Because I was with my friends, I kind of just let loose. Like I got pretty drunk, just had a great time. I wasn't really thinking critically about the situation I got myself into because I wasn't alone. So I think I put my defenses down a little bit. But then at the end of the night, they all went off to their Airbnb and I had to go to my hostel. So I called myself an Uber, which is something I did all the time in Paris, Ubering home at the end of the night by myself. It's not something I'd ever question. And so I felt pretty safe. So I sat in the back of the car right behind the driver, which in retrospect was the smartest decision. And just for context, this is how demonstrably drunk I was. Felipe. He's amazing. You have to have Felipe if you're in Lisbon. And then he pulled over to the side of the road and he started speaking to me in Portuguese. And I'm like, I don't speak Portuguese. And then he gets out Google Translate on his phone and he types something and he shows it to me and it says, "Can I kiss you?" And I don't even think I processed what that was. I was so out of it. I had no sense of fear. I was just like, what? I was like, you can kiss me on the cheek. Because I was so drunk. I was just gonna go along with it. And then I sat back and then he types something again and he shows it to me and it says, this time, can I kiss you on the lips? And I don't remember being scared necessarily, but I remember being annoyed, like fed up, just take me home. Like I was, like I was annoyed by his harassment. I had to go at him, I think. I can't totally remember. And then somehow I ended up at the hostel and I went in and then I kind of forgot about it. And then the next morning I found these videos on my phone of me recording him. And I remember what happened. I don't know what would have happened if I'd been more drunk or I had been sitting next to him. I probably would be telling a different story. Maybe I wouldn't be telling the story at all. I just want you to know that if you're a female solo traveler, what you can learn from this experience is firstly, make sure you sit behind your drivers. That was the smartest drunk decision I ever made. Secondly, if you know that you're going to be alone at any stage, try to avoid seriously drinking. After that night, I did not get drunk ever again in Europe by myself. Though it was not the last time I went out alone. And I actually went out alone the night after. And watching back, I'm like, why did I go out a second night? And I think the truth of it is, firstly, it didn't fully sink in what had happened to me. I didn't process it until I was out alone again the second night, and I just felt so scared. Also, I think because I'm a woman, I get harassed quite often. It didn't feel like a huge barrier, like I couldn't keep living my life. I mean, if I stopped every time I got harassed, like I would just never go outside. And then lastly, I like going out alone. I enjoy it. I was not gonna let any weird man ruin that for me. So I was obviously going to keep going out. But I'm actually glad I went out that second night because it ends on a happy ending. So the second night started out pretty grim because it was a Sunday and there was no one really around and all the nightclubs weren't very busy and it was just skeevy men. This sucks. I've just been hit on by random men. I don't know what I expected. I'm too sober to enjoy any of this. So I've just been observing what's going on. I feel stupid. Conversations are stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. Then I remembered that there were people who do samba dancing on Sunday nights down by the water. So I started walking towards that area, but it was far more empty and I got the sense that this guy was following me. I feel like clubbing may be one of those things where you kind of just do have to go out with friends. Maybe it's PTSD from getting absolutely harassed in that Uber, but I'm like, I don't know, I just feel unsafe in a way that I didn't in Paris. I just remember feeling so scared in a way that I'd never felt before. And based on everything that happened the night before, I was really freaked out by this. And so I saw these two young German guys who were about my age, who were extremely attractive, walking ahead of me and they're having this kind of loud German conversation. And I started just walking up really close behind them so it looked like I was with them, hoping the guy would leave me alone. And eventually they turned around and they realized that I was following them. And they were like, oh, can we help you? And I explained to them what happened with the guy before, and I was like, hey, I'm a bit scared, can I just walk with you? Thinking that they would just say yes and I could trail on behind them and down to the water. Instead, they started talking in English, and we ended up just getting on so well. We had really great banter, and they were like, hey, you should come back to our place, we have sangria. And I was like, no, I don't know you, I can't just go back to your place. And they said, no, seriously, no funny business, you can leave at any time, it's not a problem, but like we're gonna go back and get some drinks, so if you want to come you can, but otherwise no problem. I was like, you know what, I actually probably feel like it's safer to go with you guys than to just peel off alone and walk to the water. So I went back to their place and they had a rooftop view of Lisbon.
What the fuck?
And we just sat at their beer pong table drinking sangria and having amazing chats until like sunrise, and it was an amazing night and it totally redeemed my faith in mankind. Emphasis on man. There are bad days when you're solo traveling as a woman, but there are also good days, and the good days and the good people outnumber the bad. Not always glamorous, but I really feel like if I'm going to encourage people to go to these places and follow in my footsteps, then you have to know that not everything goes well and not everything is good, and even though you know that, do it anyways, because I did and I don't regret it. You'll be fine. Just sit behind drivers. Okay, see you soon, guys. Bye.